Hey there guys, my name is Erie Bandis, software engineer and crypto enthusiast, here to bring you the top 5 undervalued coins going into 2022.
Whoa, hold on!
So just as a heads up, while I am talking about cryptocurrencies that are undervalued going into 2022, that doesn't mean necessarily this year they're gonna explode. Everything follows Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin decides to dump, then the rest of the market's probably gonna dump. I'm not trying to be like some other influencers that will say, yeah, this is for sure is gonna 100x in the next few days. But what I will show you is to hit that like button below because it really helps to spread my video out to other people. But who knows, maybe hitting that like button will give good karma to your investments. I don't know, not a prophet. I'm also not a financial advisor. You do you, and you have to do your own research. Now, these are just some coins that I believe are undervalued right now going into 2022, and I think are gonna do well. No matter if we go into a bear market or a bull market, I think these coins will last for years to come. Now, with that out of the way, let's get to the first project. And with this first project, I'm pretty sure it's one you guys have all heard about, even if you've been into crypto just a little bit. And that project is Chainlink. Now, Chainlink is a project in the Oracle space that is looking to bring centralized data into the decentralized world or onto blockchain. The purpose of this is to connect that real world to the decentralized world in a decentralized and trustful manner. A use case for this is price feeds. Let's say a decentralized exchange wants to trade derivatives of Tesla stock, meaning that if you aren't in the US but you want to buy the Tesla stock, you can buy it on a decentralized exchange that tracks the price of Tesla. Let's say it's at $1,000. But how do we get the price of the Tesla stock on a decentralized exchange? Well, this is where Chainlink comes in. What Chainlink will do is grab that centralized data from Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, or a number of brokerages and feed that data through the middleman, which is Chainlink's node operators, and then feed that to decentralized apps. By aggregating this data together, now these decentralized apps can essentially track the Tesla stock price that is given through Chainlink. And now people that aren't in the US or just don't have access to the Tesla stock can buy Tesla stock without actually having to sign up for a US brokerage. And the best part about oracles like Chainlink is that almost every dApp that is out there is going to need them to some extent, whether it's DeFi, NFTs, metaverse, gaming, you name it. I mean, hell, you can just look at all the partnerships that Chainlink has right now, and it's hundreds of projects that utilize Chainlink. And the best part is as more users are adopting cryptocurrency, that creates more of a demand for the Link token on the back end, because in order to pay for things like price feeds and everything else that is needed for Chainlink, you need to utilize the Link token. And this demand for the Link token is then what's going to drive the price up for Link. So now that we've discussed the value proposition for oracles and why we might need them, let me discuss why I chose Chainlink. So I chose Chainlink because it has that first market mover advantage. Almost everyone that knows oracles knows Chainlink. And like I said before, Chainlink is utilized by most projects when they need an oracle. And because it's utilized by many projects, it builds a trust on top of it for people to use it for their oracle space, which is very important when you're grabbing centralized data. On top of all these partnerships with dApps, there's a lot of institutional investors at play with Chainlink. And when we look at the price of Chainlink, it's always sitting around $20 per token, which is about a 10 billion market cap. Now, it hasn't grown to the same extent as NFTs or gaming or metaverse tokens, but to me, that's why it's undervalued, especially with a project that provides so much utility to the entire cryptocurrency industry. This is a project that's gonna help every dApp that's out there, creating utility for the Link token, creating more demand and more need for that Link token, and taking a bet on Link is like taking a bet on cryptocurrency adoption. That's why for me, I think Link is a safe bet for the long term. I think it's gonna be something that's always needed in cryptocurrency, and as cryptocurrency gets more and more adopted, I think we're going to see more and more need for Link on the back end. So my prediction for Chainlink is anywhere from a 5x to a 20x. Like I said, when it comes to predictions, I can't say, oh, it's going to 5x this year, it's going to 20x this year. I don't know. It really goes depending on Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin decides to go in a bear market, then we're in a bear market. If Bitcoin decides to go in a bull market, then everything's in a bull market. That's just the market that we live in right now. Everything follows Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king.
I am the king!
Now let's get into the second project, one that is a leader in the DeFi space and even has a cute ghost as an icon. Nah, not that one. Yeah, that one. Aave. Aave is a leader in the DeFi space right now with their lending protocol. Aave's goal is essentially to get rid of banks as the middleman for our loans, and it allows us to be our own banks. It works by essentially providing us with a liquidity pool where we can provide our own assets, whether it be Bitcoin or Ethereum, into this liquidity pool to gain interest on our assets. Then on the flip side, if you want to take a loan from that pool, you can provide collateral or Bitcoin, for example, let's say $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, and and you can take a $3,000 loan in whatever asset you choose, whatever it be Bitcoin or Ethereum. Then the people who took those loans are paying interest month to month, which then rewards the people who provided the liquidity. So this gets rid of the need for banks as middlemen. And the best part about it is that people who take the loans out pay less in interest, and the people who provide liquidity can now make interest on their money. And that interest they get with their money is way higher than what it would be by putting it into a savings account. And another great part about this is when you're taking a loan through a centralized entity like a bank, it takes weeks, it's a headache, a lot of paperwork. With a decentralized protocol like Aave, it literally takes like 2 minutes. You just literally sign a transaction with your MetaMask and boom, bam, you're done. But now let's discuss why I chose Aave specifically in this DeFi lending space. Well, one of the first reasons is that Aave has about $15 billion of total value locked up, meaning that $15 billion of value is being provided to the liquidity pools. On top of that, Aave has made consistent development upgrades since their mainnet launch in 2019 and then their V2 upgrade in December of 2020, and now they even have a V3 upgrade on the horizon. All of these upgrades have been focused on giving the safest loans with the best interest rates, and then also focusing on cross-chain liquidity, meaning that it's not going to be just specific to, let's say, Ethereum, but cross-chain to Avalanche, Polygon, and other blockchains. And that's what makes Aave so great, is that they are focusing on what they call layer 0. Now, you might know with layer 1s being Ethereum or Avalanche or Phantom, and then layer 2s being Polygon or Loopring, layer 0 to them is being blockchain agnostic, meaning that they can adapt to any blockchain and support any blockchain. And for me, as a believer in interoperability and making sure that you can work across blockchains, I think this is a great bet. I'm glad that Aave is focusing on it because many lending protocols are not focusing on cross-chain right now, and I think that's where Aave is going to succeed. As of now, Aave supports Avalanche, Ethereum, Polygon, but more blockchains will be supported as the community votes on them and as it's developed. And as I mentioned before in the V3 upgrade, Aave is looking to make it easier and more seamless to have cross-chain liquidity and taking loans cross-chain. And also with the Aave V3 upgrade is coming institutional investors, with Aave having Aave Arc, trying to get institutional investors to come in and bring their liquidity in a safe, regulated manner that makes them feel safe under the SEC. And on top of that, Aave has recently partnered with Centrifuge to try to bring real-world assets, or RWA, like real estate, to DeFi. It's all these things together that I think DeFi is going to be one of the biggest spaces in cryptocurrency, if not the biggest space when it comes to value. I mean, you just have to think about it when it comes to banks, credit cards, all these centralized entities that control all our money. They hold so much of our money that if we put into these decentralized protocols, the value of these tokens are only going to rise with it. And with Aave having such a good track record and with so many things on the horizon, it being at a 3.5 billion market cap to me is super undervalued. I think in the short to long term, I think I can easily see a 10x for Aave, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went up 50x. Now, I know these numbers sound crazy, but like I said, this could take years, this could take months. We never know with the crypto sphere. Everything follows Bitcoin. Like I said, I think Aave right now is just undervalued. I think if it keeps dropping, I'm just gonna purchase more. Now, I can't say for you when you should buy. I'm not a financial advisor. You're gonna have to do your own research. Aave might not even be a project you like. But to me, I think Aave is gonna be one of the leaders in DeFi continuing in the future, and I think it's just a safe bet long term for me. Now, for the third project that I want to speak about is probably one of the most undervalued projects in all of cryptocurrency that I found. And you probably haven't heard of it. This one is Shiba Inu. No, I'm just messing with you guys. The project is Injective Protocol. So Injective Protocol is a cross-chain layer 2 decentralized exchange that is looking to provide a centralized experience in a decentralized fashion. You know, just without all the censorship, essentially.
Bada bop boom pow.
So Injective Protocol went live with their mainnet in the last few months, and if you look at their exchange, it looks very similar to Coinbase Pro. And the reason for that is because they're trying to provide that centralized experience that I talked about, where it's easy to use for customers and familiar for customers. Not only that, but you can tell that they follow an order book model very similar to Coinbase Pro, which differs from Uniswap and PancakeSwap's auto market maker model. Now, I'm not going to get into the difference between these two things because it can be a long video, but essentially with an order book model, it's going to be a lot more efficient when it comes into fees. And in fact, because of the order book model and because Injective Protocol is a layer 2 built on Cosmos, they offer no gas fees. All they offer is a maker and taker fees that reward the injective holders. And these fee rates are way lower than you would find on any centralized exchange. On top of that, Injective Protocol is EVM compatible, meaning that it is compatible with any Ethereum-like blockchain. Because it's built on Cosmos, the Injective chain is cross-chain, meaning that you can swap, let's say, Bitcoin for Ethereum if those two blockchains are supported. As of now, Injective offers Terra Luna, Ethereum, and Cosmos blockchains, but they're looking to add more blockchain support with community votes. Not only that, they're providing insane liquidity incentives for people to come and trade on their platform, offering up to $120 million of liquidity incentives. So all you have to do is really just come, trade, and earn Injective tokens as you trade. It's insane to me because a lot of other exchanges either offer you terrible rates and charge you insane commissions, or they abuse your data, or they stop you from buying and selling. With Injective Protocol, they do none of that. It's gas free, you can trade whatever assets you want, it's instant finality, and they don't limit the buy and sell. And like I said, I think the best thing about Injective Protocol is the fact that it is cross-chain. I think we've been dying for something that is cross-chain right now when it comes to decentralized exchanges. When you look at Uniswap or PancakeSwap, you're limited to either the Ethereum blockchain or the Binance Smart Chain. And I think what the issue with this is that you can't just necessarily easily trade your tokens cross-chain. But having utilized all these different decentralized exchanges and having utilized Injective Protocol's exchange, I can tell you it's very seamless, it's very easy. You just bridge your assets and begin trading. It's pretty much like using Coinbase Pro. But what's insane to me is that's not where all the features end when it comes to Injective Protocol. If you remember that example I gave with Chainlink and trading derivatives of a Tesla stock, yeah, that's what Injective Protocol is trying to do. Allow you to trade derivatives, allow you to trade perpetual futures, allow you to take leverage, allow you to have insurance on your money. It's insane what Injective Protocol is looking to provide. And not only that, Injective Protocol has a bigger vision at play. They don't want to just be their own decentralized exchange. They want other creators to come in and build their own decentralized exchange on top of the Injective chain. And the best part about this is no matter the Injective Protocol exchanges that are built on this chain, at the end of the day, they're all going to share liquidity. But the benefit of creating one of these exchanges, or what they call relayers, is that people can earn Injective token for everyone that comes in and uses their platform. Like I said before, there's the maker and taker fees. That Injective Relayer exchange is going to take some of those fees. To top this all off, Injective Protocol has some big name investors coming into this with Binance Labs, Pantera Capital, Sandeep Nailwal, who's the founder of Polygon, and Mark Cuban, out of all investors you can think of in the crypto sphere. And as of now, Injective Protocol is sitting at a market cap of about 400 million. To me, this is severely undervalued. I can easily see Injective Protocol doing a 10x and going to a 4 billion market cap, but even in the long term, I wouldn't be surprised with a 100x and going to a 40 billion market cap. But if you want to be, I guess, more conservative, you can say if it hit the Uniswap height of 22 billion, it would be about a 55x. And I think for everything that Injective Protocol offers, they offer way more than Uniswap with a way better experience. Injective Protocol just has way too many features, way too many backers, way too many consistent upgrades that are being made to the protocol to look down upon. I think Injective Protocol is one that is severely undervalued, and once people start hearing about it, it's going to be one that's going to just take off. And that's why for me personally, I do have a large stake in Injective Protocol, and I have had large stakes in this past year because I genuinely believe in the protocol. And now for the fourth project, let's talk about a competitor to Chainlink in the Oracle space. And that competitor is, wait for it, API 3. Now you're probably wondering, API 3, I mean, I've never even heard of this cryptocurrency. What's with all the hype? Well, you actually might have heard of API 3 without even knowing it, especially with their partnerships with El Salvador's National Bank. So API 3 is an Oracle similar to Chainlink, but they take a different approach compared to Chainlink. As you remember, Chainlink bridges the centralized data to decentralized data and acts as that middleman. However, API 3 wants to get rid of this middleman approach and create what they call first-party oracles. But first, let's discuss some of the issues with this middleman approach that Chainlink takes. The first issue is that if these centralized entities that provide the data to Chainlink and then feed it to decentralized apps provide malicious data, they can't be penalized. The only people that can be penalized are the node operators on Chainlink, and if they transform the data in a malicious way. Second, onboarding these data providers through Chainlink is a more grueling process. So this is where API 3 resolves this through their flagship Air node. Essentially, these data providers can spin up an Air node pretty much within minutes with almost no cryptocurrency knowledge and begin providing data to the blockchain space. And now that the data providers are directly providing their data and earning their own money, they can essentially be penalized if they essentially transform the data in a malicious way. And with these data providers being penalized, the consumers or their dApps can then be provided with an insurance fund to ensure that if they are provided faulty data, that they are reimbursed. And better yet, because there is no middleman, it's going to be cheaper for dApps to utilize something like API 3 because you're getting it directly from the source. So that's just a little bit of how API 3 works, but in terms of recent news, in this year alone, API 3 has started to work with a national bank in El Salvador to help bring cryptocurrency financial products and help with cryptocurrency adoption. And this is all after making Bitcoin legal tender in El Salvador, which is huge news for API 3, which is a smaller project. API 3 sits right now at a fraction of Chainlink at a 200 million market cap. That's about a 50th of the valuation of Chainlink. So for me personally, even if API 3 took a fraction share of Chainlink, that could mean a lot for API 3 because it is a smaller market cap and it can grow tremendously. So I personally think in the short term that API 3 could easily do a 10x, but even looking into the long term, I wouldn't be surprised for API 3 to essentially do a 100x to a 200x, which would be about a 20 billion to 40 billion market cap. And the reason for that is because even though that's higher than Chainlink's current valuation, I think Chainlink, API 3, and a few other oracles will be leading oracles in the space. And I think, like I said, a bet on oracles is a bet on cryptocurrency adoption. And while many oracles follow Chainlink's model, API 3 takes a different approach, which is what makes it so unique with their Air node. And on top of that, they had the El Salvador news, they had a recent Coinbase listing, and they also have many institutional investors also taking bets on them. Like I said, API 3 doesn't necessarily have to become the leader in the space, but even if it becomes top 3 and oracles continue to grow, I think API 3 has room to grow so much more than Chainlink, and that's just because it is a smaller market cap. Now, for the last project, let me do another drum roll. Koinly HQ. Huh? Yeah, I know you probably haven't heard of them. They are a microcap coin. And Koinly is actually sitting at a 70 million market cap, so it's no surprise if you probably haven't heard of them. I think Koinly is a microcap coin that truly has the potential to 100x, and that's obviously because it is a microcap coin, but it also has a lot of fundamental and technical stuff backing it. Now, Koinly is a competitor to the Graph, which you probably have heard of. The goal of Koinly is to essentially query and index blockchains and pull data from different blockchains for dApps or for centralized apps. But the way they do this is by providing a unified API to developers, whether it's on dApps or centralized apps, so that no matter which blockchain you're trying to pull data from, it's going to be easy, quick, and the same experience. And for those of you who don't know about APIs, that's perfectly fine. It's essentially an interface and coding that allows you to pull data from another entity through the internet. That's pretty much it. Obviously, it gets a lot more complex than that, but that's all there really is to know for it. And similar to oracles, dApps are constantly going to need to be able to query different blockchains for their own need in terms of data. Even Vitalik recently made a comment that commended the Graph and projects like the Graph because of the need of them when it comes into cryptocurrency adoption. Now, the reason of why I chose Koinly over the Graph is because the Graph right now is sitting at about a 4 billion market cap, which is way larger than Koinly, and Koinly is just sitting at a fraction of that. So taking a similar approach that I am with API 3 and Chainlink, I think that even if Koinly just eats a little bit of the market share of the Graph, it's going to mean a lot more. Because in order for the Graph to 5x, it would have to go from 4 billion to 20 billion market cap. But for Koinly to 5x, it would have to go from 70 to 350 million, which is way more doable. And on top of that, I feel safer investing in Koinly right now because they have a lot of backers like Binance, Coinbase, Alameda Research, and many more players in hand. And because Koinly is a microcap coin, I'm not planning on throwing a lot of my money into it, just a small sum. Because if I were to lose that small sum on a microcap coin, I wouldn't care too much. But if it were to 100x or 500x in the future, then that could mean a lot for me. But remember, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor, especially when it comes to microcap coins that are very volatile and very risky. But anyway, guys, these are just 5 cryptocurrencies that I think are undervalued going into 2022. Doesn't guarantee that they're gonna explode right now in 2022, but I think they're a safe bet looking into the future. If you liked the video, please hit the like button below. It'll really help my video get spread out to other people. And on top of that, if you like this content, please hit the subscribe button below where I go into more different cryptocurrencies, talk about the tech perspective of it, and really try to dissect them and their value. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video and have a happy 2022.